When we were prepping for TF Nation this year, the Toy Foo chat was buzzing about the arrival of Webdiver toys. And as soon as I saw them at the show, I had to pick up several of them. But you're probably asking, Gavin, what is Webdiver? Webdiver is an anime and Takara toy line released in 2001, revolving around giant robots that turn into things. Yep, I think that covers it. Gladion here is your Optimus Prime, if you will. You know, it's an interesting design for sure. I don't know if it screams main good guy. If anything, it reminds me of Cybertron Megatron's design, at least in colour scheme. But it definitely screams early 2000s, especially when we consider what was happening in series like Car Robots. He's a big boy, that's for sure. Lots of textured detail, lots of contrast in the colours, some lovely chrome parts, and I really dig the look of him. Since there's a lot of translucent plastic, he's also a bit of a squeaky, creaky toy, and it also means you need to take extra care with him, considering he's now more than 20 years old. Mine's got a broken hinge in his Oakster, and you can see the electronics starting to spill out, but as long as I'm careful, and I am, it shouldn't be a problem. Not to venture into spoiler territory, but Gladion here turns into a big train, but you don't necessarily get that from the design. Being more like a standard action figure in terms of proportion, we get a reasonable amount of articulation, but then you start messing about with Gladion here, and he starts creaking and squeaking. It makes you think he might just be better off standing stock still. My favourite part is pulling this piece down, and whoop! Isn't that brilliant? Such a simple concept, but it adds so much. We get two main accessories. First is this shield, and that's maybe where we get the clues to the alt mode, since this is essentially the front of a train being used as a shield. I don't hate it. No, that's not true, I hate it. The other accessory is the sword, which has got some lovely tech detail, and as a bonus, you can turn the blade around, tilt the hilt, and you've got a shotgun. Now, before you even start, I can hear you all going, "Oh, Gavin, what are those buttons on his back?" Well, just hold on and I'll tell you, okay? Press this button on his back and a light glows in Gladion's chest, and yeah, that's it. Yep, no other lights and sounds in this current setup, but it does set us up for some incredible action. We plug this cable into Gladion and connect it to an old CRT TV, and it almost kinda works. Unfortunately, my setup only gets black and white. I'm working to fix this, and in the future we'll do a full video on this because footage is few and far between on YouTube, let's say that. But essentially you're getting a fun little video game where you control Gladion with Gladion. Isn't that wild? Plus the game you get depends on the mode that Gladion is in, so it's either this runny shooty game or this trainy avoidy game. It's simple stuff, but it's extremely novel and enough to impress for a small time at least. There's even connectivity with other Webdiver's toys that can't appear in the game and help you out, which again, we'll look at in another video one day. In the meantime, let's not waste this precious CRT time. Transformation is good, though again the creakiness of the whole thing makes me wince while I do it. There's a nice elongating waist, whoop, and everything slaps into place easy enough. We get the chromed pieces coming together on top, and there's even storage for the sword underneath. And look at that, it's just a really nice train mode. Or is it? I can't quite decide on whether this is a good representation of a train or a big shoebox with train parts stuck to it. But isn't that what a train is? And I need to think about this one. But it's handsome, at least. You make a train mode with wheels that do this, I'm in. I love you for it. Gladion's a weird toy from a pretty weird series, and it only gets stranger from this point as we look at other Webdiver pish that I've picked up. Good on Toy Foo, especially Andy K, who not only turned me onto these toys, but is a class act who can fly like Superman. You know who else is a class act? Every single one of my patrons over at patreon.com/TRDQ. You might have heard there's some shenanigans going on with Apple charging folks more. That's just for new subscribers. If you're already subscribed, it won't affect you. And you can avoid it if you don't sub through an Apple device. So if you do want to support what we do at TRDQ and you want to avoid that extra charge, just sign up via desktop or an Android phone like a normal person. A person perhaps like T-Formers 2002 whose favourite toy is G2 Sea Spray. And yep, they made a pretty great toy better by making some of it purple. Bye.